Okay, so now that we've got most of the in-match mechanics working, we can have our players running around killing each other, and we can keep track of who's getting score at different times. The next thing we need to do is make it so that we can actually end a match, so we can have a full cycle of playing through the game. And what we're going to do first of all is make it so that when our players reach a certain target amount of kills, that wins the game. So to do that, first thing first, we're going to need a little display thing to pop up when our level ends. And what I want to have happen is, with our canvas here, we obviously, when the match ends, we want to show the leaderboard that we have, and we'll also show behind it we'll darken the screen and just put a message up saying that the round is over. So I'm going to make my leaderboard be visible just so we can see where that fits in, and we'll add a bunch of active players as well, just as placeholder for now, just so we can see roughly where they would be. Then I'm going to go to my canvas, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to add a UI image that we're going to call end screen, and I'm going to move this up above the leaderboard, so that means it's behind the leaderboard visibly here. Then I'm going to switch back to my view here so we can see everything. I'm going to do the little trick I did before of clicking on this and then holding Alt and Shift, and then clicking down here to make that be the full size of the screen. Then I'm going to make it completely black and transparent like that, and then I'm going to add a text element to it to this will just be a message to say round over. Say round over or match over, whichever would make the most logical sense to you. Then I'm going to drag this out nice and big like so. I'm going to put it up on top here like this. Actually, I'll go a little bit thinner, and I'm going to auto size. I'm going to add it to the middle, and I'm going to make it very big. There we go, that'll do. I'll make it capitalize, and we'll bold it. So there we go, we have a little round over and the leaderboard in front of it. So let's first of all deactivate both of these things. I'm going to add the end screen to our canvas. So let's open our UI controller, and in here we're going to add a public game object end screen like so, and we'll go back in here, let that compile, and we can just click and drag the end screen into that slot. And then one other thing that I want to do is make it so that we have a point in our map that when the match ends, our camera will go to an overview of the match area. So I'm going to just collapse that down for the moment. I'm going to get my main camera here, and I'm going to switch out of 2D so I can just move things around. And let's move our camera to a position we would want it to be at. We know the camera will move to wherever the player is when the game is actually running, but we're just going to move it over here like this. And then I'm going to turn this to local, and I'm going to rotate this around, and we'll look down here. So this will give us a bit of an overview of the match area. And what we're going to do then is I'm going to create an empty child of this, and we're going to call this the map camera point, like so. And I'm going to drag this down to there. And now my camera, I can put this back to where it was. Put it at 0, 0, 0, and we'll move it up and put the rotation back to 0, 0. There we go. So we'll put it at 1.5 up and 0 and 0. There we go. So it was back. It's back roughly where the player was. But now we have this point, which is where the camera should be when we want to move it to at the end of the match. Okay, so for now, that's it. That's some of the basics we want to set up for our end screen. In the next video, we're going to start making it all work.